Yo, what is up you guys? Welcome back to the Latin Exotics YouTube channel, to the 13th episode of the Aprilia Sr50 rebuild. I would like to start this whole thing off by just saying that this episode is kind of cringeworthy, and I would like you to bear that in mind, because prior to this I had never really had a large-scale painting project ever before that involved extensive painting and clear coating and everything like that. So in this video you will see that number one, I heavily botched it, and number two, the steps that I took in order to, in my opinion, fix it were completely unnecessary, but I still wanted to include everything, all of my mess ups, because that is a part of the journey in this build, and that is how I went through my learning process and understood how to do things better in these builds. When you watch a video, you'll see what I mean, and honestly, it is pretty cringeworthy. I look back at it, it's pretty bad, but I would never repeat what I did in this video ever again. But all that aside, I'll remind you to do a few things. Go down there and check out the previous video, which was my first ever car review. Leave a positive comment down there, drop a like as well, tell me what you think, because I think that car reviews will be something that I will be doing quite a bit on this channel, and that is sort of the next step after the Aprilia Sr50 build, so that's not going anywhere. And as always, click that like button, click the subscribe button, and turn the noties on. Or don't if you don't want to, but I would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Got body filler on it. I know I'm not the tip-top dude who knows how to actually place body filler on things, but this is what we got it down to, and for now this is what it's gonna be until it cures. Then we're gonna sand it down, and then you're gonna actually see how beautiful it looks, and from what we went to an actually good-looking riser kit. Fun fact, I don't know if I mentioned this before, this is a stage 6 riser, which they don't manufacture anymore. I was kind of lucky to get it. The only thing that was annoying was that it didn't have a stage 6 logo over here like this does. It had the square where it should have gone, but no logo. That's completely fine with me. And here's how the stage 6 riser kit looks after all of the body filler, sanding down, and degreasing. It is ready for priming. That is exactly what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put it up somewhere over there. This is gonna be the last part that I'm gonna prime for this series. It's been a long journey, hasn't it? It's so crazy to think that it's about to come to an end. But yes, indeed, this is the last part that we are going to prime. By the way, I had a little bit of a mishap with this fork. I was cleaning it down with the Scotch-Brite pad, and the nail that I was holding it gave out and it hit the ground, had a little bit of a minor nick. I cleaned up the nick, but then after I went to put primer on it, I accidentally touched it with my finger, but then I had to remove all the primer, well, not from everything, and reapply it again. It took me a little bit more time than I would have liked to, and I also fixed up 1 or 2 spots on the frame, fixed up a spot on the radiator that I saw that I had missed, and fixed up 1 spot on the exhaust mount. Everything else is good, and now we're gonna put it up for repainting.
I got demons in my brain, they want me to let it go. Shorty tell me I'm the same, cause I'm fucking all these hoes. And we've been through the rain, we can make it through the snow. Heard them niggas throwing shade, fuck them all cause they broke, that's right.
So here's the final part actually done. There are some spots that look a little janky right here, a little bit here. I'll figure something out. And we are officially done for priming all the parts, and we're gonna return tomorrow to the workshop. We're gonna move this and these over there, since that's gonna be my white painting station, and this is gonna be the black painting station. I'm really excited to be painting it and finally putting it back together. It's been way overdue. The only thing that might be a bit of a pain will be the hardware, because I'm gonna have to clean a bunch of it because a lot of it is super dirty. And we're gonna go to Home Depot and get all of these mounts that they have here brand new, because the old ones are just horrible. We are finally here, and the day has come that we're gonna paint all of our parts. I've been dwelling on this for so long, and I re-cleaned the garage as well. Everything is as perfect as it can be. All of the parts are cleaned and laid out all perfectly like they should be, and I'll show you. I even have a whole new layout planned out, so look at this. This is what I've got going here. The silencer, the spring, the variator cover. I moved these from there a little bit back and spread them out so I have more area to work with so I can walk around. The same for these. The brake levers are are right here, but they were right there next to the frame up there. Then I've got the rims all prepped, and those are the parts that we're not going to be painting today. Those are the parts that we're going to be painting white. But the thing is, I couldn't get this riser perfect. There were a lot of areas that I just couldn't fix up. But that got me very annoyed, and that's why I didn't finish it. Like you see these. I'm just going to sand those down and then fix them up later. Maybe it's because I need more primer on those areas. It could be, but I'm just going to sand them down as much as I can and then reprime them so they look decent again. We're just going to go ahead and start the repaint. It's gonna be beautiful. So you guys remember when I was super excited about the whole painting thing? Well, it went down, but it didn't went down as planned, but that is completely all right. I did these little levers, which look quite nice, and did that. I did the variator cover. I don't know if I'm gonna have to patch up anything on the variator cover, but I'm gonna see a bit later. What I'm working on right now is patching up the frame because I'm gonna have paint coming in about 3 days or so. But why do I need paint? Well, I sort of botched the whole painting of the frame due to the fact that the quality was super poor of these spray cans. All these ends do, they just spew blobs of paint and they don't really cover the surface very well. So I switched to Home Depot nozzles. Plus, I wasted a whole bottle of clear coat due to the fact that it just got stuck. I took off the top and it still wouldn't stop. It was just spraying all the clear coat out. So I was like, flip it. I'm gonna go get Home Depot clear coat. Basically, I got 5 cans of Home Depot clear coat, which is gonna be way more than enough to cover all of this stuff. Well, if anything, I'll go to Home Depot and buy even more clear coat. Why am I masking it off? Well, I didn't do a quality job because I didn't light everything properly, and everything just turned out kind of wonky, and then the clear coat didn't layer itself properly in some areas. Here I found a little bit of rust, so that's why I'm doing a bit of primer as well. So all of this has been a really big learning process for me. But look at the real paint. It looks really nice, but you can see down here where I didn't paint it, and it is what it is. This is where I put on some extra gloss. This is what the paint should look like. This is it. Where I didn't put on gloss, it looks like this. It looks like, but that's why we're saving it. What I'm doing is I'm simply layering off the areas that I don't want to paint. After that, hitting them with the Scotch-Brite pad so they are all roughed up. As you can see right here, it's ready for a new coat of paint. I'm just gonna layer the paint on top, remove all this duct tape, clean the frame, and go ham with the clear coat. That is the plan. Look at this. Not painted, not painted. This is a learning process for me, and I assure you, I'm not gonna leave it like that. I mean, this is taking a long time, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I should probably remove this whole setup here because I'm done with that area. I'm gonna show you something. I want you guys to know that, these projects, they don't always go as planned, but that's normal. And if you guys are ever doing a project like this, just be ready for things to go south like they did for me. The main thing is to keep your head up and persevere through. Remember the reason why you started the project and just think about the end result. And it's worth it to put in that time and to prove to yourself that you can actually do it. That's about it. Let's get back into the project. So here it is, the frame fully taped up, leaving out the areas that I have to Scotch-Brite. Paint's gonna be here in 3 days, as I mentioned before. Also, something I tried was applying Home Depot clear coat to this, and it worked amazingly. Right now to the camera, it looked completely black. But wait, I'm gonna turn on the flash. Look at this. Home Depot clear coat hits pretty hard. Compare it to the regular clear coat that I was using on this frame. Is it better? I don't know. The lighting is different as well. This clear coat isn't dry yet, so. But anyways, now we're gonna fully Scotch-Brite it and then return in a few days in order to get it painted. Here's where I'm at right now. I have all the parts that I didn't paint fully masked off, and I've got 1 can of paint, and I'm gonna use it to paint as much as I possibly can and correct everything that I haven't properly painted yet. I'm gonna show you the end product. I'm gonna try to get it. Now that I'm done with patching up the frame and some other parts, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna just leave it. I'm not gonna clear coat it. I'm gonna clear coat it afterwards when all of this stuff is removed. That's about how that looks for right now. So what I decided is that today now I'm gonna DIY this thing. So stay tuned, it should be fantastic. I know I've still been leaving you guys in the dark a little bit, but I have been working on the project. I have been continuing painting all of the parts, just the frame is being much more of a challenge than I thought it was gonna be. So it obviously takes me a little while, but it's gonna be ideal in the end. The paint supply in Riga is very low for the paint that I actually need. So I'm gonna make a quick out-of-town trip over down to the good old OG to get some of the paint. They have a Radix there. There was one in Yalgo, but that one is a bit too far. And I need this paint in specific, the 200120. I bought 3 cans, but I need about 3 more. I'm hoping that they have it there, and if not, then well, I have to wait on Radix for them to restock the paint, but hopefully we're gonna have some luck today. The frame is getting done. Some parts are also painted. I'm gonna show them to you probably tomorrow or maybe this evening, even if it starts raining, because I can't really repaint anything while the motorcycle is in the garage because I don't want it to get dirty. But if it's raining, I can't take it out of the garage because I don't want it to get wet. So that's a big dilemma. Maybe a quick montage of me going to OG, getting the paint, and coming back. Our trip to OG was kind of successful, kind of not. I got 1 paint, which is better than none, and now we're on our way back to Riga, and I'll see you guys back in Riga. Yes, we are finally back in the Latvian Exotics workshop. I know you haven't seen all of this basically, but these are almost fully done. I had to just paint some minor details on them and check if they're good. Here's the big thing, and I have to get done with the frame today with fixing all that's going on here. I know currently it looks super weird and super so that's gonna get finished. This needs clear coat on it, this needs more clear coat on it, and then all of the rest of the parts need to get painted, plus that needs some more paint on it as well. I'll decide if I'll film the painting process or not, which most likely I won't because it's the same as priming. So I might just check in little increments and just show you what's going on with that. But something that I didn't show you is that I got this thing done. This paint is gonna get taken off, it's gonna get cleaned up, and it's gonna get the mesh installed in it. I feel like I did a pretty good job. It looks just fine. And that's about it. It's a slow process, but we're getting it done, and I'll check back in with you when I'm done with some of the painting here. Yeah, now you see what I mean by that the video was cringeworthy. I know, doing all that duct tape and everything, it's useless, right? It just created like sharp lines and shapes on the frame, which made it an abstract project in the end, which you will most likely see a little bit of in the further episodes, but it could have been much worse. There's just a little bit of color variation. The clear coating went super smooth. So it is an abstract frame with a glassy pearl finish, but honestly, in the end, I kind of like how it turned out, and it gives the scooter more of a story behind it. But I guess the main morale from this video is if you don't have enough paint during the same day to finish your project, don't use duct tape to mask off the areas you painted and then paint the areas that you didn't paint. What you should do instead, just Scotch-Brite the areas you clear coated, and then when you get the paint that you need to finish the project, paint over that area. That will create a uniform finish without messing everything up like I did. But thankfully the rest of the painting went smoothly, more or less, which you will find out why I say that in the following episodes. And I think that's enough talking for today because this video has been drawn out well enough. But as always, one more final thing, go down there, click that like and subscribe button, as well as check out my previous video, which was my first ever car review. Remember to turn the noties on. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next upload.
And I keep a pretty bitch put up. Ride through with a chauffeur, I be chillin' with my foot up. Niggas all cap bullshit, niggas pull up. Master P in 98, that little nigga got the hook up. I'ma make it drop the jaws every time a nigga pull up. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. Every time you turn around, that nigga, he the top. You would think the baby popcorn the way the nigga pop.